Asia Energy Security Summit 2015. The chairperson of this inaugural session, Mr. Harry Dhawal, and His Excellency Ranjit Ray, His Excellencies from Sri Lanka, Kazakhstan, and Her Excellency from Bangladesh to Nepal. Chairperson of IPAN, other office bearers of IPAI and IPAN, representatives from development partners, representatives from private sector, especially the power industries, media representatives, ladies and gentlemen. I'm immensely happy today to be here amidst the professionals who are dedicated to the cause of power sector's development in one or another country, especially in our region and sub-region. My joy has been further increased because all of you, I believe, are assembled here with a recognition that Nepal has a huge potential of generating renewable energy in the form of hydroelectricity and could contribute to meeting energy requirements of the region to some extent in future. At the very outset, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me as a guest of honor in this 5th Asia Energy Security Summit. Equally thankful am I to the organizers for choosing Kathmandu for the event. Long strides in the technological development of transport and communication means have already put us in a global village. Other sectors are also not very dissimilar to transport and communication. We have, in our time, tremendous amount of globalization in art, literature, and culture, which is unparalleled to any previous time in the history. Trade, commerce, and industry also have definitely a dimension of regionalization and globalization. Their development depends on the extent to which the market extends. At the heart of the trade and industry, we have energy security. Complementaries in the consumption of energy and its resources bring the countries together, especially the neighboring countries. Energy trade is not a zero-sum game. There is a lot of synergy in energy development and trade. If we realize this from the core of our heart and act accordingly, everyone will be benefited. In case of electricity energy, our inability to store it and requirement of long transmission lines and interconnections, the cooperation among the neighbors is all the more necessary. Most of you must be knowing that our entire cabinet and I completed 1 year in the office only a few weeks ago. We are in a far more comfortable position than we joined the office a year ago. We could make great strides in power sector in the past few months, particularly in macro level achievements. The power trade agreement with the scope left open for common electricity market to grow to sub-regional and regional level, could be concluded with India in last October. This was work pending for long. Likewise, project development agreements were concluded with two private sector investors in India in order to develop two large hydropower projects in Nepal, mainly for exporting power to India and now Bangladesh as well. We have received requests to have similar type of trade agreements with other neighboring countries. They are now under consideration. Likewise, PDS on a few more hydropower projects are in the pipeline. The projects include a couple of them for the domestic consumption too. When realized in a few years' time from now, the results of the ongoing efforts will be in the form of Nepal having installed capacity of a few thousand megawatts and a large volume of electricity traded across Nepal-India border and beyond. And there will be mega projects, Pancheshwar and the like under construction, which will have significant position in the regional power scenario in near future. When I imagine this and the several other endeavors to happen one after another, I feel that I am very fortunate to be a pivotal part of the epoch-making events. In order to cater the needs of ever-expanding power sector of the country, we understand that we need to make structural changes in the sector. Unbundling of the national electricity utility is a work pending for more than a decade. With registration of the newly formed transmission grid company, certainly the unbundling process will begin. The next step will be setting up a state-owned generation company which will own all the Nepal Electricity Authority owned generation projects and some more government projects in future, thus leaving NEA to care for specialized distribution works only. We have been seriously working towards finalizing the long pending electricity bill and Nepal Electricity Regulatory Commission bill. Constructive comments from all quarters will be definitely needed. Most of you are conversant with the two bills, two major changes which we are going to introduce in the bills are elimination of the current two-stage licensing and a requisite system that the government identifies and conducts the preliminary level studies of all projects before it invites private sector to participate in them. The two changes are to avoid a situation that the private sector developers are acting in a total precocious situation at present. We have found that the state and private sector investors have not been able to derive appreciable benefits from the licensing provisions of the prevailing law. We feel that the current licensing system has also a lot to do with the present serious shortfall of electricity also. The extent to which the government needs to evolve itself in industries, especially the power generation projects, is always a debatable issue. We have experienced power systems of both state-funded generation projects and of very liberal private sector-funded generation projects. The experiences have put us in a position that we can assert what is good for us. We need to build up a system in which there should be enough flexibility for switching from public to private and vice versa. We will leave as much space as possible for the private sector to play and see how the situation of funding and project development unfolds. The role of the government will definitely be like that of a guardian to help the private sector move forward and assume responsibility of a developer also. If the necessity arises, more precisely, the government will take up projects which are essential but in which private sector feel itself not comfortable to invest. Nepal has a very harmonious relationship with all countries, including our neighbors. With our recent experience, we have a great degree of confidence that if there is something required to be done at the government level bilaterally, we can take up the issue for resolving it positively. However, this track-to approach is also no less effective. Private sector, be it in Nepal or elsewhere, examines issues more prudently. Hence, the comments and recommendations from institutions like IPAI and IPAN will be heeded and appreciated. I am happy to note that institutions like yours have developed sural relationship. This will help us concerned move towards a common goal. I have come to know that you will be discussing a wide range of issues relating to energy security, investment in energy infrastructure, trade and geopolitics in energy sector in the coming 2 days. I wish all the delegates participated actively in the technical sessions and wish you all you would be able to come up with the concrete findings and recommendations which become valuable inputs for our policy formulation and crucial decision making for all the governments concerned. With these words, I would like to conclude my brief remarks and wish you all very success. I thank you all. Thank you very much.